The Oscoda area must be Mother Nature's favorite place because no matter where you go, she displays her beauty and glory for all to see. Our next stop was literally just outside of town. It is called Clark's Marsh and is a collection of still woodland ponds and old-growth forest. Its flat, grassy trails make it the perfect place for visitors to view rare native wildflowers and many species of wild birds. On our way back to the marsh, we spotted a queen snake on the trail. This is a very rare snake and is found in or near shallow streams, canals, or ponds, and often bask in shrubs hanging over the water. They feed mostly on crayfish. What a great way to start our adventure. To show us what to look for, we have the help of the president of the local Audubon Society, Corey Gildersleeve.
This is Clark's Marsh. Clark's Marsh has been an area cut off from civilians for about 40 years.
Oh, and why is that then?
I believe it goes back to World War II. There was a suspicious fire they thought some Germans had set to burn the base down. And they put fences up and took a large area and made it almost impossible to get into. So this is like new territory for most people. There's road and parking, nice trails, and a series of ponds. The ponds are like this. This is a 28-acre pond that used to be an oxbow of the Au River. We're close to the Au River, between the Au River and the former Wurtsmith Air Force Base in Oscoda. This pond was raised about 5 feet by beaver, and the beaver who did that are now gone. They've eaten all the kind of trees that beaver live on, and it was about to crumble and drain and turn this into a big meadow. The U.S. Forest Service decided that they could do better than that and intervened and built earthen berms, and that preserved the level of the water and the wetlands.
Wetlands vary widely because of local differences in soil, topography, climate, hydrology, water chemistry, vegetation, and other factors, including human disturbance.
There are 3 major ponds, and there's also a climax hardwood forest that is just beautiful. It's stately, huge trees, clear undergrowth, as silent as you can find.
And just as we've stood here, you've stopped and pointed out several different types of birds that were here. How many different types are actually going to be in an area like this?
This was inventoried for the Michigan Breeding Bird Atlas as having 78 species of birds living here. During the birding festival, which was held here recently, 2 field trips were taken here, and just in the course of about 2.5 hours for each field trip, we had about 70 species.
All wetlands provide food, water, shelter, and living space to many kinds of wildlife.
Well, this is the actual berm that holds back the water. Okay. There's about a 5-foot drop from this side to this side. It's beaver proof. The box has a tube that runs out about 30 feet to an opening, and the beaver can't figure out that the water's going out of the pond out there. So even though there's a sound of water moving, they'll put sticks there, but they don't bother that.
Affect it though then.
Yeah, so this is going to be maintained by the rangers. And when they reflooded this, after putting all of this stuff in, there were some clumps of earth and weeds and roots that floated up and started to move. And we've got an island here that wasn't here yesterday. And
I thought it looked like it was moving a minute ago. So that's floating around out there then?
Yes. Yeah. Mobile home, I guess you'd say, for the ducks.
And coming out here and I look around and I see birds flying through the air. But if you stop for a minute, let them land, get your binoculars out and take a look, you really find out the differences in these. You find out variety of types of birds, the different colorations of the birds, and where they're nesting, and just the different things that they do.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Take your time. There's at least a mile of good, flat, firm trails here now, and anybody who can walk. It's not, open for wheelchair use, but if you can walk, you can cover the ground and see some beautiful territory.
Great birding area, great wildlife area to come into. So come on out, take a look at it, just enjoy yourself out here. Remember, take only pictures and leave only footprints, because you want to keep these areas up and keep them nice for everyone. Corey wasn't done with his surprises. He took us to see an eagle's nest, complete with eagle chicks, and a surprise I will never forget. Well, Corey, you drug me back here in the middle of nowhere, and you got me walking through the woods, and I haven't seen any birds yet. What have you got here that's so interesting?
Well, if you'll pick up your binoculars and take a look between these balsam, you'll see a big nest. Those are bald eagles.
Oh, they're on the nest. There's some out there.
That's right. There are 3 of them, 3 young eaglets on the nest, and the adults are gathering food.
Oh, so the adults are not even there. There's 3 of the babies are in there then?
That's right.
Wow.
And those are big birds.
They sure are. I thought they were adults. They look so big out there.
They're almost as big as adults. You can imagine 5 birds that size in one nest.
It must be a pretty good sized nest out there then, too.
I'll bet they think it's crowded.
Now, up here along the Asabo, there are quite a few of the nesting eagles.
Yes, there are 19 producing bald eagles nests on the Asabo. And last year that resulted in the net gain of 19 eagles. They live for 25 years or so.
Hey, the adult she's playing in it right now. She's in there feeding them.
But it is something that you can come up here and you can see. And I know a lot of times we've been down along the river and had them fly at us. We've seen nests, and this is just one of them that's up here, and there are many. You have to kind of come up here and start looking around. You will find them more than likely. And as you can see shots just like we're looking at right now. If you come here at the right time and you find the right nest, you're going to find these young out here, and you might get lucky enough to see the adults come in and feed them. So this is pretty spectacular.
That is spectacular, to catch 4 of them now on the nest like that.
Wasn't that incredible? How often do you ever get to see a sight like that? A mother eagle feeding her young of fresh caught fish. Wow! Well, I guess it happens in Oscoda quite often.